there's one thing this pandemic has taught us, it's how important educators are in this country. They work so hard and are always going above and beyond for their students. And recently, one Indianapolis principal went viral for choosing compassion over punishment. Jason Smith, the principal at Stony Brook Intermediate and Middle School, had a young man sent to his office for refusing to take off his hat, a violation of the school's dress code. When Mr. Smith questioned the young man, he found out that the reason he didn't want to remove his hat was because he was unhappy with a recent haircut he received. Well, having some experience cutting his own son's hair, Mr. Smith offered to fix up the young man's hair for him. Once he agreed, Mr. Smith drove home, got his clippers, and helped line up the young man's head. The young man's mother said that she thought it was a wonderful gesture, and we did too. So we had to invite Mr. Smith to be here with us today. Mr. Smith, tell us you're there.
I am here. How are you ladies doing?
Hello. Hi. Welcome to the show. We're happy you're here.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Smith, first of all, thank you so much for all that you do. We value our educators so much. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Yes, ma'am. I was raised on the east side of Indianapolis to a hardworking family. My mom worked 2 and sometimes 3 jobs, but she came home and cooked dinner in between jobs, checked our homework, and just really stressed how important education was. I later went and played college basketball at Campbell University and majored in graphic design, was laid off a little bit after 9/11 and went back to my high school looking for work. And my high school principal said that she had a job for me. My high school coach actually offered me a freshman coaching job. And I was in the building for, no longer than a week before I knew I was meant to work with kids.
Well, you're definitely in the right place. Mr. Smith, did you recognize immediately that there was something more going on with this young man?
Yes, ma'am. I sat down with him and asked him, like, what's wrong? Why don't you take your hat off? And then he explained to me about, his parents got his hair cut. He didn't like the line. And that's when I offered the solution by having a dialogue with him.
What led your decision to help him rather than discipline him?
Well, there's a couple. I'm finishing up my dissertation, and the topic was early childhood trauma. And so over the past 4 or 5 years, working in urban education, that Black and Latinos are disproportionately excluded from school. And so, the solution to that is understanding, why, our kids do what they do and seeking to understand, because all behavior is communication, and see if we can meet the kids' need, and then teach them. So I felt like this was a great opportunity for, I had a skill set that I could, help this young man with this problem instead of calling his father to come get him or putting him in school suspension. And so that is what we did.
You think young men struggle with self-image the same way women do, especially young Black males?
Oh, absolutely. I think we all struggle with self-image. I just know as an adolescent, peer acceptance is more important than, anything else. And so having a fresh cut, dress nice, for their friends or for their ladies. And, kids at this age can be mean and, folks don't want to be talked about. So I definitely think, that it's important.
Wow. Mr. Smith, what has the response been like to your story going viral? Like, everyone's talking about it. How has it been?
To me, it's been overwhelming. When the national news hit on Friday, I literally couldn't work because my phone was ringing off the hook. My work emails were being pushed down so fast that I actually had to text my supervisor and ask him if I could take a half day because I couldn't focus. I couldn't, think. Yeah.
What advice would you offer other teachers who may be watching when encountering a child in need?
So, if the kid is calm, just get down on their level and ask, like, how can I help you? What do you need right now? If the kid is upset, you give them some time, let them walk, get some water, and then once they calm down, have a rational conversation with them, show some grace, be empathetic. We're teaching and working on, as adults, being vulnerable with each other and with our students. And that will lead to being more empathetic and child-centered.
Well, this is also leading you to do something else, and it's starting a club. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. So a gentleman in Hawaii is actually sending us 2 barber chairs. And so it's kind of brought up, what a great idea would be that, if we could get some, barber equipment to have, a barber club after school where we can kind of groom the guys, as well as mentor them and talk to them about what it means to be a man, how to shake hands, look people in the eyes, and, how to code switch to access, the world out there.
Those are important skills that our young men need more than ever now. And I'm grateful for the fact that you asked him questions instead of just punished him. You really showed compassion and empathy. And Mr. Smith, we love what you did so much and what you're continuing to do that we wanted to help out. So we are going to give you $5,000 for your club.
Wow. That is amazing. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you so much for just being here with us today and sharing your story and for everything you do for these students. Please keep in touch with us.